What if I told you that Israel was once delivered by a left-handed assassin? A man who smuggled a dagger past guards, a man who struck down a tyrant in his private chamber. This is the untold story of Ehud, a story of courage, cunning, and God's unexpected deliverance. We go back over 3,000 years. The book of Judges describes a time when Israel was trapped in a repeating cycle: sin, oppression, repentance, and deliverance. Judges 3:12. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of the Lord. Israel had turned from God, so God allowed their enemies to rise against them. Eglon, king of Moab, united with the Ammonites and Amalekites and conquered the land. Verse 14 says, "So the children of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years. 18 long years of heavy tribute, humiliation, and despair. But even in judgment, God's mercy was waiting. When Israel cried out for help, God raised up an unlikely hero." Judges 3:15. "But when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised them up a deliverer, Ehud the son of Gera, a Benjamite, a man left-handed." That single phrase, "a man left-handed," holds the key to the story. In ancient warfare, left-handedness was rare, even seen as a defect. Yet in God's plan, what seemed a weakness became the perfect advantage. Ehud, from the tribe of Benjamin, crafted a weapon unlike any other. Verse 16 says, "But Ehud made him a dagger which had 2 edges, of a cubit length, and he did gird it under his raiment upon his right thigh. The weapon was short, about 18 inches long, double-edged, sharp on both sides. He strapped it to his right thigh under his robe, a place guards would never check, since most men drew from the left. Ehud was chosen to carry Israel's tribute to the foreign king. Bags of grain, silver, and goods demanded by Moab. Eglon's palace was imposing, filled with guards and attendants. The Bible describes the king bluntly. And Eglon was a very fat man. Judges 3:17. Ehud presented the tribute with the other Israelites. When the task was done, he sent his companions home, but he himself turned back alone. He returned to the palace gates and said, "I have a secret errand unto thee, O king." Judges 3:19. Eglon, curious, commanded silence and dismissed his servants. The great doors closed behind them. The 2 men were alone in the cool upper chamber, a private room where the king rested from the heat. Ehud stepped forward and said, "I have a message from God unto thee." Judges 3:20. Eglon rose from his seat, and in that instant Ehud moved. With his left hand, he drew the hidden dagger from his right thigh and thrust it deep into the king's belly. The Bible gives a vivid and shocking detail. "And the haft also went in after the blade, and the fat closed upon the blade, so that he could not draw the dagger out of his belly, and the dirt came out." Judges 3:22. The king collapsed, dead before he hit the floor. Ehud left the dagger buried within him, turned and locked the doors behind him as he escaped. Outside, the servants saw the doors bolted and assumed the king was relieving himself. Verse 24. "Surely he covereth his feet in his summer chamber." They waited in silence, embarrassed to disturb him. But when the delay grew long, they finally opened the doors, and there lay their master fallen dead upon the floor. By then, Ehud was long gone. Ehud crossed beyond the stone idols near Gilgal and reached safety. Then he sounded a trumpet blast through the hills of Ephraim, calling Israel's warriors to rise. Judges 3:27-28. "And it came to pass when he was come, that he blew a trumpet in the mountain of Ephraim, and the children of Israel went down with him from the mount, and he before them. And he said unto them, Follow after me. For the Lord hath delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand. The Israelites seized the fords of the Jordan, cutting off Moab's escape route. Then they struck. Verse 29, and they slew of Moab at that time about 10,000 men, all lusty and all men of valor. And there escaped not a man. What began with one man's courage ended with an entire nation's deliverance. The final verse of the chapter declares, So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land had rest 80 years, Judges 3:30. 80 years of peace, the longest recorded rest in the book of Judges. The story of Ehud isn't just a tale of assassination. It's a story about how God uses the unexpected, the overlooked, and even the flawed to bring about His will. Lesson 1. God uses the unexpected. Ehud's left hand, a trait seen as odd or even inferior, became the tool of liberation. Where others saw limitation, God saw potential. He often uses the qualities we least expect to accomplish His greatest works. Lesson 2. Deliverance requires courage and cunning. Ehud risked his life with careful planning and steady nerves. He waited for the right moment and acted decisively. Faith in God does not mean passivity. Sometimes it means stepping forward with bold wisdom. Lesson 3. God hears the cry of His people. Israel suffered for 18 years, but the moment they cried out, God moved. Judges 3:15 reminds us, When the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised them up a deliverer. Even in times of disobedience and discipline, God's compassion never ends. He waits for repentance, and when it comes, He responds with mercy. Lesson 4. What others call weakness, God calls a weapon. The tribe of Benjamin was small, often underestimated. Ehud himself might have been dismissed as clumsy or unfit. Yet God delights in turning the world's expectations upside down. 1 Corinthians 1:27 echoes this truth centuries later. But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. Ehud's story forces us to look at our own lives. What do we see as our weakness? What limitations do we believe disqualify us from being used by God? Perhaps that very trait, the thing others mock or misunderstand, is the tool through which He will bring deliverance. God can use a left-handed man to bring down a tyrant. He can use a widow's faith to feed a prophet. He can use a shepherd's sling to defeat a giant. And He can use you right where you are to accomplish His will. When the odds seem impossible, remember, the power is never in the sword, but in the hand of the one who guides it. Judges 3:30 concludes Ehud's legacy. So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land had rest 80 years. Peace followed a single act of obedience. The story of Ehud shows us that deliverance often comes through unlikely hands. A left-handed man brought freedom to an oppressed people because he was willing to act when others stayed silent. What about you? Is there a calling God has placed on your life that you've hesitated to answer because you feel inadequate? If He could use a left-handed man to free His people, He can use you too. All He asks is obedience, even when the task seems impossible. Next time, we'll uncover the untold story of Deborah, the woman who became judge and led Israel's army to victory against impossible odds. Until then, remember, God's deliverance often begins with one courageous act of faith. Just ask Ehud.